So our next speaker is Emily Drier of Girl Develop It, and she's going to give us some tips on getting where you want to go in the tech world. Emily is an Ann Arbor chapter leader of Girl Develop It, a nonprofit organization that provides affordable programs for adult women interested in learning web and software development in a judgment-free environment. Join me in welcoming Emily to the stage.
Thank you. How's everyone doing? How's everybody doing? There we go. All right. So my name is Emily Drier. I am one of the chapter leaders of Girl Develop It Ann Arbor, and actually during the workday, I am the project manager over at Boxcar Studio. And in my talk, I'm just kind of going to give an overview of my journey because I think it's very important to see that not every path into tech is a traditional one. So I started out actually, I earned my degree in education with a focus in language arts. I graduated in the spring of 2010, and at that time, the education job market in Michigan was fiercely competitive. I did get my first job. I taught 8th grade English about 40 minutes south of here, which prompted my move from Lansing to Ann Arbor. When you're a teacher, many days you're going to feel like this. This is because you have planned the greatest lesson, your students are engaged, they're getting the concepts, even your jokes are landing, you're just feeling real good. And you get to collaborate with other educators, and they're making you better. But then this is also some of the other days, and that can be because these are the days when your inbox and your voicemail is blowing up from parents who are confused that their son didn't turn their homework and he can't play football and now it's your fault. Or it's when you have your administrators throwing you curveballs that you really didn't see, and also it doesn't matter how much time you put into planning a lesson, sometimes they just bomb and you have to scramble. So I spent 3 years in the field, and I wonder, is it time to go? I find it to be extremely exciting. You're very much in the driver's seat. You're in control. You're helping guide the educational path of 150 students. It's very empowering, but it also gives you this total feeling of terror. There's a lot of challenges, especially when you're a new teacher. The job security is not there, so you leave in the summer, and you don't know if you're coming back in the fall, which means that it's going to make it very challenging to advance in your career. And a lot of those decisions are made without you at the district level. And I wonder, do I want to have this be my life for 30 years? When you're a teacher, you also work in the summer. So I was the guest services supervisor over at Douglas J. Aveda on Maynard, actually. And I'd worked there every summer during my teaching years, and the summer was winding down, and our directors came to me and they said, well, what if you didn't go back? What if you stayed with us and we made you our event coordinator and you worked here full time? And I was already kind of in this phase of, so yeah, it was great. I said, yeah, let's stay on and see where this goes. And I did enjoy my time very much. I worked with their cosmetology students. I helped make sure that they were involved in the community, getting to participate in events. I also did some networking on behalf of the company, working a lot actually with A2I Chamber. I got to do some fundraising and also do social media for the company. During that time, I also went out and got myself a part-time job at a web design agency in Ann Arbor here called Fresh Tight Designs, just doing their social media for the time being. But a little bit of time went by and I said, well, what else can I do here? What is it you're working on? Just, you know, what else can I do besides your Facebook and Twitter? And my boss said, well, we're building our websites in WordPress and we do a lot of SEO. Cool. I have no idea what either of those two things mean. Very much feeling like this. Oh my gosh, I gotta learn all the things. What does that mean? I already have a degree. Can I even go back to school? Is this something financially on my plan? Can I do this? So I just started Googling, you know, maybe there's something out there in Ann Arbor for me. And I land on GDI. So like Paul said, we are a nonprofit organization. You can find us all across the country in 56 cities as of now. We are a nonprofit and we provide affordable and judgment-free learning environments if you want to break into tech. I find the Ann Arbor chapter of Girl Develop It. I see they're offering different types of workshops, intro to Ruby, intro to Python, intro to HTML and CSS. They're giving presentations, how does a blind user surf the web, and even just networking events like their Code and Coffee. So I sign up for their Intro to WordPress workshop, and I see they also have scholarships. Yes, I apply for the scholarship, I win it, I go to the workshop, and I'm getting a great intro to WordPress, which helps me at my job. And then I start going to everything I possibly can, and because I'm an event coordinator, I worked up the courage to go to the 2 women running the chapter at the time, and I said, hey, I'm an event coordinator, how can I help you? And they're like, we need to have you on board. So I do this for about 2 years, and in 2015, I get brought on as a new chapter leader. Woo! And remember all those times of I go from not even knowing what SEO stands for to I actually teach our SEO workshop now for the organization. Last year, we had our 2-year anniversary fundraiser. We treat this as a networking event, job fair style. We also use it as a milestone to celebrate all of our accomplishments. So if you have a fundraiser, you need to make sure you thank your sponsors. One of our sponsors that year happened to be Boxcar Studio, which is a web design agency that focuses on EDUs and nonprofits using WordPress and Drupal builds. I meet the partners. They're wonderful people, and I love that their agency has this sort of edge of what they're doing. And I start thinking, I want to go to there so bad. I guess they felt the same way, because the next day after the party, I get a call from the partners saying, we want to talk to you about becoming our project manager. And it'll be my 1 year actually next month with the company. So, someone asked me, well, this has been very much a 3-year journey now-ish, and people ask me, what did you even do to get here? I did a lot of research. I wanted to know what companies were working on, if they were hiring, what sort of skills were they looking for. And just to explore those available resources, there's so much online, especially with Ann Arbor being such a tech-friendly city, there's so much you can get involved in. Network all the time, maybe not even for a job, but perhaps there's a company that has a resource, especially for Girl Develop It. Just by networking, I found some of our most valuable instructors that we couldn't do this without. Make sure you ask questions. There really is no such thing as a bad question. You gotta be on at all times. What I mean by that is, being in Ann Arbor, it's such a tight-knit community, and you never know who you're going to run into that knows somebody who knows somebody that knows somebody else. And you don't want that impression that's getting spread around of you to be a negative one. So in concurrence with that, you got to be kind, but also be kind to yourself too, because if you're going to make this transition into tech, it can be a little bit daunting. So forgive yourself as you're going through this process. And if you want to get in contact with me or any of these resources I've used along my journey. Thank you.
Pretty basic question from Mila.
Totally. Biggest challenges for women in tech. There are some. I find, for me, there's certainly this feeling of imposter syndrome. You're always going to feel like you're not the smartest person in the room, but there's at least one person that you have more knowledge than, if that makes sense. Think of it, if you're running a marathon, you're not going to be last. So, which is just enough to give you confidence when you're trying to talk to other people. I'd say that's probably the biggest one, is just thinking like, do I fit in here? Do I have anything to contribute? So if you can have enough confidence in yourself to at least make people pretend that you and understand that you know what you're talking about, that's probably the biggest one for me.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah. Thank you.